out of Burbank chased it around with the wrong way apparently at one point, but got on the southbound 101, transition through, and now eastbound on the 10, taking us out through the Boyle Heights area. Continuing on here, next overpass he'll go past is going to be Mission, then Eastern, and then down through Monterey Park and out into the Walnut, or actually Temple City, El Monte ahead, but really not picking up too much speed here as we go along. Traffic is lightened up just a bit here. We were stuck in traffic all the way through Hollywood and that area, so speeds were really slow, but now CHP right behind him. They got there are 3 units as their normal pursuit mode. And going through Eastern, now coming up to the 710 freeway. But just a very, not, I would say slow speed pursuit, but he's not really going too much faster than the flow of traffic as we continue here east on the 10. Going blue. Brennan, you can handle the flight. Right. Coming on the brakes here as we come into a little traffic here right at the 710 freeway. Around slower traffic there that were stopped. And continuing now here south or west on the 10 freeway from the 710. And looks like now the central CHP units will be backing out, and you're seeing the switch off that we normally see with the CHP, where now the East LA CHP units are coming in. You'll see the original 3 units back off, and then the new cars coming in and picking up. That's normally what CHP does, handing it off between their different offices of responsibility along the freeway. Now, East LA will continue chasing it till we get out to the Baldwin Park, and then Baldwin Park CHP will pick it up, and now it's out in the HOV lane, picking up more speed as we go along here. It is a black Porsche, so it has capabilities of very high speeds, but looks like a wide open running now as we continue on here east on the 10 freeway. Now picking up a little more speed as we go along. Holding that number 2 lane right now, and over actually number 1 HOV lane. This is the fastest we've gone since we've been overhead. Slowing down just a little bit here as we go through, or actually coming up to Garvey as we pass through. Eastbound 10 freeway here, holding probably about 80 miles an hour, not much faster. There is a slowdown ahead of us here, just normal slowing. So we're just continuing along here. Hey, they're waiting for you guys to switch over to blue. Burbank. It looks like the driver's got his hand on the back of the passenger here. I don't know what's down between her legs. Is that a purse? Okay, and passenger's not enjoying this pursuit at all. And continuing on here, eastbound 10 freeway coming into El Monte. Now through Del Mar. Continue. As we continue on here, coming into the El Monte area here, you'll coming up on Peck Road, but he looks like he slowed down just a bit. And you can see here that now there's still 3. That's normally what CHP does. 3 units behind him on pursuit. 2 officers, 1 supervisor, keeping track of it. And they have those 3 just in case they decide to do a pit maneuver. You see the supervisor holding way back and keeping everybody back from it. It might be catching up, but they're passing traffic here now, eastbound 10 coming past Peck. But the CHP will just stick with it here and follow, handing it off to the different different offices along the CHP. We're going to be coming into Baldwin Park here pretty quick, but the officers back behind him will just maintain visual contact. The air unit overhead calling the pursuit for them, so there's no real reason for them to get uptight on the bumper of it. And luckily, the driver in this Porsche, which is capable of very high speeds, is holding it up here a little bit and not mashing the pedal there, getting along. But right now, we just continue here eastbound 10 freeway. And they're asking for Baldwin Park units to get in position, so they'll be able to take over the pursuit. Coming up on Baldwin Avenue here, eastbound on the 10 freeway. And as we continue on here east, where do we go? He jumped over into the bus lane. Okay, where'd he go? Oh, look. Okay. Apparently jumped over into the bus lane here. Now he's behind me. If I was coming to a stop. No, not in the freeway. Not got onto the bus lane here. Let's see where this goes. Right over the top of it. Sorry, it takes him into the bus area. And kind of whipping around there. He's right underneath us. Continuing through there, through the stop sign, now turning back to the west. Santa Anita, he's on now. Through there, right turn. And now he's on Santa Anita. Where'd he go? Looking out the window. Wrong way on the street here, going underneath and through there. Back looks like he's getting back on the freeway. Let's see what he does here. I can't see him out the window. Westbound 10 now. Now back onto the 10 freeway here. I got you there, 9. Oh, you're fine. 7, I got you over there on the north side. And now continuing back now eastbound or westbound on the 10 freeway from Santa Anita area, and went down there through the, got on the bus lane, went through the bus depot, hooked around on Santa Anita, got back on the freeway. So we're heading back towards downtown now. Quite a little move there, running through red lights on the wrong side of the street, doing things of that sort. So right now, and we're still continuing on here. You see, but at very slow speeds. He's not really even up to freeway speed now. He's slower than freeway speed. That's why there's no traffic around him. The traffic ahead of him is kind of pulled away. Eastbound number one lane at Rosemead here on the 10 freeway. 59 miles per hour called by the CHP down below. The CHP supervisor calling a pursuit. She's the one that's in the back. The two other officers up forward paying attention to their driving. And that's normally what you'll do is you'll have the pursuit lead car just drive, not have to worry about talking on the radio. And then the units from behind, now the supervisor in the behind is calling the pursuit for the ground units, so keeping everybody updated where it's at, as well as updating the local jurisdictions around the freeway. They will keep track of this, so when it does come off the freeway, they're in position to help out with any perimeter or things of that sort to be able to get any runners that may happen. But I'll tell you right now, looking at this, this male driver's been comforting that passenger as we've been going along. He had his arm over the shoulder for a while. Passenger's been bent over holding their head. And I keep seeing it looks like a female, but it could be a male, but more likely a female from what I can tell. But not enjoying this ride at all. So you get this, man, that's loud. Coming up to Del Mar now, still westbound 10 freeway. 58 miles per hour. Oh. Brennan keeps putting on the brakes on me up here. Yeah, let's punch in there again real tight on her and see what's going on if you can there, Colton. Kind of rocking and holding her face there. Kind of, you can tell it. Not real happy with what's going on. This Porsche, black Porsche rag top down. Got the little baseball caps on and probably just out for anything driving. Now she's kind of rocking and not enjoying herself. Driver just kind of going along here, not really fast. And hopefully this will come to an end peacefully without him hurting anybody else. A lot of stuff down on the floor at her feet. Can't really tell what it is. But right now, you know, they're going to keep close tabs on this as they go along. But just kind of weaving through lanes here. Let's come back out wide. And over to the number 4 lane. And we'll see what happens here. Going by some slower traffic. Holding that number 4 lane. The light now is from Burbank Air 1 and keeping track of it for the CHP. So here we now approaching Garvey again as we've turned completely around from the east there, right around Santa Anita, back westbound on the 10. Right now only wanted for reckless out of Burbank, where it was seen driving recklessly, and their units got in pursuit of it. It went the wrong way. Their units stopped chasing it because of the danger, but the air unit stayed overhead. And once it got up on the freeway, the 101, CHP was able to get it behind it and start following. And so pretty much that's what we've done so far. And started coming down south 101, went through the interchanges through downtown, and picked up the East 10. There we're coming through Garvey and gonna come around the bend here. It'll bring us down into Monterey Park and approaching the 710 freeway. And they just reported on the CHP frequency that to advise the units to be careful of the passenger because they were seen at the beginning of pursuit reaching under the seat and things of that sort. So use caution. But kind of watching the body language there. I just think she's rocking and rolling there, not really happy with what's going on. Coming up on Fremont, westbound 10, number 4 lane, and right about 55, 59 miles an hour. And like I said, the law enforcement agencies on either side of the freeway here are being notified of the pursuit just in case it jumps off. Getting over to the right shoulder. Looks like we're getting off the freeway here. This might be the interchange for the 710. Looks like we're on the interchange for the 710. Stand by for which direction, either south or north here. Coming around. Yeah, it's looking like the southbound 710. And if it continues on here, making the loop around to the right, that area, or southbound 710 for Long Beach. 5 slowing up. Making the loop around and coming down southbound 710. Now I'm looking up ahead, right just south of the 60 freeway. There is a bunch of traffic, just dead stop. So this thing is not going to get past there. If he stays on the 710 south, it's going to come to a dead stop when we reach the 60 because there's some type of incident. Might even be construction up ahead, but the freeway is a dead stop. So I was going to go past the 60. Anyway, continuing here southbound through Monterey Park on the southbound 710 freeway. Pursuit of a reckless driver here, been going on out of Burbank. Started just about 40 minutes ago. And as you can see, just cruising along here, not really going fast. I mean, he's in a Porsche which is capable of very high speeds, but right now just holding back. So we'll see what happens when he gets to 60, because if he sees, I don't know if he's going to be able to see this traffic ahead of me, because it's the traffic coming off the 60 is at a dead stop, and then that stops the 710. So if it's kind of a turn here. So if he doesn't see it before the 60, he's stuck. But if he sees it, he more than likely will bail for the 60 because there is nowhere to go once he gets past the off ramps. You see CHP working up the side. Looks like he's moving over to the right. Let's see what happens here, but approaching 3rd Street, and looks like looking out ahead, he's committed now for the South 710, and it's going to be a dead stop here in about another 200 yards. Hopefully they can do some type of surround, but with the warning they gave the officers about hold back because of the passenger reaching under the seat, and here comes stopping traffic. 5's going to stop. And so now it's going to be stuck in traffic and nowhere to go here. I mean, it's heavy, heavy traffic. Looks like there's an incident on the right shoulder up here. If he stays where he's at, it's just going to be slow move through. And once it clears about Cesar Chavez, it'll kick out and get going again. So right now we see the backed up traffic. That's the transition coming off the East 60 to the South 710, and it combines down here. And that's right where the wreck is, right at the bottom of the 60 on ramp. What? He has a 42 miles an hour right in his right shoulder. Now, one thing about the 710, once we get down here towards the 5, it's a left off ramp for the southbound 5 freeway. So right now, you see those dotted lines. That's the off ramp for the 5 freeway to go south, and it comes off the left side of the 710 freeway up here. So if he stays in that lane, it'll put him on the south 5. But right now, coming past the accident scene, so traffic's going to pick up here, and we'll see if he stays in this lane. And go there. You see the traffic accident going through and continuing on. So in the exit lane for the 5 freeway, if he stays there, be a little sweeper to the left that drops you down into the number 1 lane of the South 5 right here in Commerce. Okay, continuing south here, now coming into the transition for the South 5. South 5. Continuing south 710 here, coming up to Eastern. And as we work our way along, very slow rate of speed, heading down towards the Commerce area. Just passing Atlantic here, very slow traffic. And the traffic is pretty heavy down to 5. All the way down, I'm looking out the window all the way down to 605. So he's not going to, unless he starts weaving and bobbing here, it's not going to be going very fast. As we continue on here, South 5 freeway, coming up to Washington. Roger. As we continue here south on the 5. Holding the number 1 lane, coming up to the Commerce Casino. Huh? Yeah. And now the female's on her phone, kind of just rocking away. At 50 miles an hour south, number 1 lane going through Washington. Reckless driver. If you're just joining us, a reckless driver out of Burbank, PD, went all the way down the 101 freeway to the 10 East and all the way out to El Monte, made the turn at Santa Anita, and then back west on the 10, picking up the South 710, then back into the South 5 freeway. And we're just really just cruising along here at 50 miles an hour south, number 1 lane on the 5 freeway, just passing through Washington. Coming to a stop. And Burbank Air 1, TV5, I don't know if you can talk to CHP or not, but she's on a phone. You can see now they're asking the Burbank unit to light up the vehicle and get descriptions of the driver and passenger. You see it's a male driver, male white, and it looks like a female white passenger on a phone. But at one point during the pursuit, just rocking back and forth, back and forth. So I don't know what's going on with her. Now, it kind of looked like some type of iPad or a phone or something are lit up. As we continue here, South 5 coming up on Liquid Rosemead will be the next major off-ramp she comes to as we cross over the Rio Hondo River. At the river now. Coming in at some pretty good traffic here as we approach Liquid Rosemead. And you can still see the passenger there kind of rocking. Yeah, trying to, as we zoom in here and see if they're still on the phone. Yeah, kind of looks like you're holding her hand up to her ear, but not really too sure. But we did see her on the phone earlier, and then I could see the screen of some type of a mobile device. So I'm sure she's on the phone with somebody the way it looked. Hey, Brennan, you going to call the flight through Disneyland? I think I've heard you say that earlier. Yeah, 20-3. As we continue on south on the 5 freeway, just through the Lakewood Rosemead ramp, coming up to the 605, and it's just backed up traffic as we continue on. So he's not going to have a lot of running room here. Back on the coming up to the 605 south on the 5. Five's going to stop. Number 1 lane coming up to the 605 here. Looks like he's going to continue on down into Orange County. And 20 miles an hour here. Kind of just slow running. You can see the action on that passenger just rocking back and forth in the seat and bending over with her hands up on her face and leaning forward. Where'd she go now? Oh, okay. I see her there. Leaning way forward. So earlier the driver had his arm around her, and so right now, I'm not sure what the status of what her status is. Passing the 605 now, continuing number 1 lane southbound. Good. As we continue on here, southbound 5 freeway coming into Norwalk, still at about 20-25 miles an hour due to traffic in the area. It's a large construction area here. 5 freeway gets down to about 3 lanes, so it gets a little tight through here, and speeds do drop. But he's not really not pushing hard at all. We're going to do the 2285 once we get down past the 91. Ryder. And as we continue south here on the 5 freeway, we're going to be coming down into the Orange County area here, Fullerton, and we're going to have to climb up for the temporary flight restriction around, actually permanent flight restriction around Disneyland. We have to get up to 3,100 feet as we go over that. As we continue here south on the 5 freeway, coming up to Carmenita. can see the passenger still kind of leaning forward, driver with his hand up. I don't know if he's been doing that several times during the pursuit. But once again, just a reckless driver out of Burbank, started by Burbank PD, handed it off to CHP. Continuing on, 68 miles an hour, southbound 5 freeway. Yeah, actually it's Norwalk coming up. Carmine will be the next one down. So not really in a big hurry here. Traffic is opened up to where they could open it up here southbound on the 5, but he's choosing to keep the speeds down, thank goodness. That Porsche that he's in is capable of some pretty high speeds. And right now, as you see, just holding the number 1 lane, CHP behind them, following in the units. Moving over to the right lane. Actually, number 1 lane, just saw it move over, but didn't realize that it's a completely painted off area. Watched out the window. So continuing through, as you see, it's only 3 lanes of the 5 freeway going through this construction area. And 5 starting to climb. Brighter. Right. As we start our climb up here to get up over the Disney TFR, we're as we work our way down into the Fullerton area, as I continue climbing for the TFR around Disneyland. And as we continue, we're now into Orange County. Next interchange we're going to hit will be the 91. The Valley View is the intersection you're going through now. Did he say what I think he said? Okay. Passing Artesia. Still only at about 50, 60 miles an hour here, cruising south on the 5 through Fullerton. Continuing south here at 60. It's way behind me. I got to slow up a little bit. Five slowing up. Holding the number 2 lane here. Approaching the Beach Boulevard. Simon Desk Sky 5. Have we got any information from Burbank other than just reckless driver or anything of that sort? Past Nutter Beach, southbound 5. See what he does when he gets here to the 91. You can see the break in the lines there to his right. That's part of the 91 here as he approaches it. And see if he picks up any direction on 91, either east or west. Staying over to the right. Really going slow, really slow. Traffic on the freeway is going faster than he is. And he's calling 60, but it sure seems a lot slower than that. But you see now up there's the Gore Point. 91 east, 91 east. Yeah, 5 is going to drop down since he's east 91. Five's dropping down. Five's coming down out of 29. Five's coming down out of 29. Thank you. Coming up to Brookhurst down eastbound 91 freeway. And the just hearing CHP saying the driver is waving at him, but only using one finger. Down to 1600. Roger. Coming up to Euclid here, and now the Orange County CHP office is going to pick this pursuit up. Yeah, we continue here eastbound 91 freeway, coming up to Brookhurst, and so right now we're continuing on with the Santa Ana office of CHP taking over the pursuit. This might be going over to Santa Ana if we lose it. Or what are we on, blue? Okay, they'll stay on blue then. Yellow, no, she's switching back to yellow. That's East LA. As we continue now through Brookhurst, there's eastbound 91 freeway. Next freeway we're coming to is a 57. '55. As we continue now, number 2 lane actually, here on the eastbound 91 freeway, approaching, it's going to be Lincoln is going to be up here coming up. As we're coming up on the 57 freeway now, as he's moving over to the right. Great, border gray. And you can see the line there, that shows the off ramp. He's over to the off ramp side. He has a choice of going north, south at this point. 5's coming to a stop. Okay, I'll see which way it goes. And it looks like we're going to pick up the north 57. Now we're continuing north on the 57 now from the 91, take us up through Fullerton. Coming up to Orangethorpe. So is Brackett. 24 hour. As we continue. Fives here. Duke, did you switch to 02? All right, buddy. And as we continue on northbound 57, we're coming up to Cal State Fullerton, and above that's going to be Imperial, and that'll take us up through the north end, and up the north end of Fullerton here, Brea, then the Brea Pass back over into the San Gabriel Valley. So pretty much just a really slow run on most of the freeways here through the Southland. Once again, started just after 7 o'clock in Burbank with as a traffic stop for no license plates and reckless driving, and then he just took off, and the pursuit got up on the freeway the wrong way for a bit, then got off, then back on the freeway southbound 101, brought it down through downtown LA, picked up the East 10, East 10 all the way out to El Monte, then turned around, came back, picked up the South 710, brought us all the way down to the 5 freeway, the 5 to 91 to 57, and here we go, northbound 57, approaching Imperial here pretty soon. But that passenger, if you watch the passenger, just leaning forward, holding her hand up. I don't know if she has a phone again. Yeah, on a phone again here. But just rocking back and forth at times. And then the driver would be as we come up into Brea here, still holding that number 2 lane. So luckily been holding slow speeds here and not racing along like they could. That 5 is going to start a slow climb to 2,000, give you room. Okay, yeah, we're going to go up to 2,000 for the Brea Pass for you. As we continue climbing the hill here towards the Brea Pass, which will drop us over to the San Gabriel Valley. I'm betting you this is just going to make a big loop. Once he hits the 60, he'll probably go back westbound, back towards where it came from. But it's a black Porsche. Looks like it has paper plates. That's why it was stopped for driving reckless, no plates. And the pursuit has been going on now well over an hour and 15 minutes here. Looks like a male and a female. Looks like a male and female in the car. 5 as well. We must have lost the pursuit again. They switch off? Okay, I haven't heard it. There it is. Purple. As we continue now climbing the hill through the Brea Pass. Going to Baldwin Park. Hey Duke, they just switched to Baldwin Park. I believe it's the orange. I think it's orange. Baldwin Park frequency, whatever that is. All right. Coming up to Tonner Canyon here north on the 57 freeway. And coming up through the Brea Pass here through Tonner Canyon and start working our way down into Diamond Bar. And we'll come into the Diamond Bar area. Then the next freeway is going to be the 60 as we come over the hill here. Still continuing on northbound 57 freeway. Yeah, we're here on orange as well, so. He can't keep his light on it. And now coming down into the Diamond Bar area here, northbound 57, and approaching the 60 freeway. 2, 4, 6, 8. I got about 80 minutes, 80 minutes. Coming up on Diamond Bar Boulevard up here shortly. You see now the CHP still behind, getting ready to hand it off to the Baldwin Park office as we come into the San Gabriel Valley. Wanted for reckless driving and no plates on this Porsche. It looks like it has paper plates on it. 2 people on board, male driver, female passenger. And continuing on. And now coming up on Diamond Bar at about 60 miles an hour. What'd you say? Yes. And 5's coming down, 1900. Gotcha. And as we continue on here, this is going to bring it down into the 60 interchange here, and he's going to have to, this is going to take him on the 60. He's already missed the flyover for the HOV. Actually, no, that's ahead of here, so maybe he might be able to switch around to the West 60, but we'll see what happens here. Yeah, he's got the ramp ahead of him. He's over in the lanes for the ramp. So it looks like we might be picking up the West 60. 5's coming to a stop. Coming westbound 60. So I kind of thought this was going to happen. Going to swing it around, take it right back where he came from. Oh. I didn't say anything. Anyways, we continue on here. Coming up to the gold. Duke, they switched over to gold if you have that. As we continue on here, coming through the 60 freeway from the 57, coming up the fairway here on the 60 freeway. 5 is going to descend down to 1500. Yeah. Thank you. The light is way behind him. Yep. Go ahead. No, I think the TFO's not working well. He can't control it. No, can't. I was thinking that. Did you lose your light, dude? All right, I'll help you out here. I don't know how long it's going to last now. Number 3, preaching Azusa here, number 3 lane of westbound 60 freeway. Yeah, coming into it now. Then as we continue on here, coming up to Azusa, still the number 3 lane here, westbound 60 freeway. You can see the passenger a little bit agitated there as the pursuit continues on here. As we continue here, coming up to Hacienda, westbound on the 60. It's just a slow speed right now, just cruising along, and he's been giving the middle finger to the CHP units here several times during the pursuit, so pretty much an idea that he ain't going to stop. But westbound 60, number 3, coming up. As you can see there, a driver has his hand up on the window. And like I said, it's just cruising right along here, not doing anything crazy, which is very good. Crossroads up ahead. Let me know when we get close to that. Just switching off here as we come into the Baldwin Park. Baldwin Park is taken over from the Westminster office. It'd make my life a lot easier if you could light it up. All right. Yeah, mine won't stay on for more than about 10 minutes before it trips. You do? I don't even see yours now. Whoever's running it kind of like Mitch Miller bouncing ball there. Yeah, I can tell. Yeah. Yeah. It's getting under me here. Yeah, oh, he's telling him he's in 2-lane. And here we go. We're looking here as we come along. Approaching Crossroads, number 3 lane. Heading about 80 miles an hour now. Continuing on. And approaching the 605 for. Yeah, darn it. As we work along here, 80 miles an hour passing Crossroads here, eastbound on the 60 freeway, approaching the 605. And what they did is they tried a spike strip back there at Crossroads. I wasn't going to mention it because I don't like giving away that information because they could be listening on their mobile device, and I don't want to give them any indication of what's going to happen. Coming to the blue. Down to 75 miles an hour coming up to Peck. So pretty much coming back towards downtown here on the 60, passing Santa Anita. This is, back through the Whittier Narrows area, working back through Monterey Park. So we'll see what happens when he gets up here to the 710 again, because he came down the 710 earlier. Let's see if he turns around and goes back north. But still cooking along here at about 70 miles an hour coming through the Whittier Narrows. Wanted for reckless, and doesn't have any plates on it, so they don't know who owns it. And 2 people on board, male driver, female passenger. Roger. coming up to Rosemary. Continuing on here as we work our way eastbound into Monterey Park. And you see just kind of bouncing lanes 1 to 2, going through, coming up to Rosemead. Couple CHP units up ahead, parked on the shoulders. I got you in front of me there, right? Coming up to San Gabriel, number 1 lane, still about 60 to 70 miles an hour. And now coming up into the Greenwood is the off-ramp he's coming up on now. It's the westbound 60 at about 80 miles an hour now. Continuing on. As we work our way along here, you see it just started picking up speed when they got close to him, and so he has the ability to go a lot faster. So luckily we're not at 100 plus at this point. But traffic is pretty light out ahead of him. There's not too much ahead of him, so he's kind of holding freeway speeds right now. It's not being blocked in by anything. 80 miles an hour here coming up on Greenwood, as I said. So CHP doing their handoffs. Now the East LA office from CHP is in pursuit. Normal operating procedure for CHP to hand off between the different offices as it passes through their areas on the freeways. So that keeps the officers in their area. Also, they're familiar with the freeway in their area, as well as anything on the side of the freeway should it get off. And then they have to be able to stay with it as it gets off the freeway. And also CHP dispatch keeps the local area law enforcement on either side. Now this would be LAP or LA sheriffs up here advised of where the pursuit is. So if he does get off freeway, they're able to come in and help out with any perimeter that's needed if somebody takes off running. Coming through, looks like I think this is going to be Atlantic, yeah, Atlantic, approaching Atlantic. And the 710's not too far ahead here, so he's going to be able to pick up what he's going to do there. He's going to stay on the 60. Which will take you back up into the downtown area through the East LA interchange, or if he's going to jump on the 710. So he's holding out there, number 3 lane. Passing Atlantic now over to the number 4 lane. And here comes the interchange. So we'll kind of watch, see what he does here. I'm betting northbound. My money's going on northbound 710. Now approaching the 710, looks like committed 60, so that's why I don't play Vegas. As we continue on 65 miles an hour here, west 60 coming up to the 710. This will take us down through East LA and into the East LA interchange, which at that point it joins the 5 freeway, the 101, and the 10. Five's on the south side at 1200. Five's going to bump it up 1500 in case you got to come around PD1. Oh yeah. Continuing on here, westbound 60, working our way through East LA, going through Indiana right now. Punching our way through traffic. Not really a lot around him. Not really going that fast. They've been calling about 80 miles an hour here for a bit. It looks like he's a little bit slower at this point. But here we come into the East LA interchange. Like I said, he can go 60. It'll take him either 5, 101, or 10 is the choices he has down here. We'll see what he does when he comes in here. But it's a very large interchange that allows you to move around. North 101. Hey, not so lucky there, Larry. Transition. He is. And here we go, North 101 here, continuing on, working our way through the East LA interchange. This is going right back pretty much where he came. Northbound 101 now through the East LA interchange, number 3 lane. Going through Boyle. A lot of overpasses in this area here. That's just one of the major interchanges here in LA. Coming through the east side of downtown LA. And as we make our way up this way, we'll make our left-hand bend. It'll take us to the North 101, which we're on now, and they'll go right through the top end of downtown Los Angeles. And this is, once we make the connection up here a little further ahead, is going to be right back on the same freeway he was on before. But coming southbound now, we'll be going northbound. So he kind of head back where he started. .62 miles an hour northbound 101. Transitioning now, here's the turn to the left. As we go around, he'll go through a tunnel and pop out onto the North 101. So he could have taken the East 10 right there, but now he's committed to the North 101. All right. Approaching Vignes, number 1 lane, 55 miles an hour. Now, in pursuits like this, CHP, they've tried spike stripping him one time, but that didn't kind of work out for him. So they're just going to be content. They see continuing on here on the North 101. But they try to spike strip one and then continuing on here through downtown LA. So they're just content to go ahead drive along. Through Alameda. Yeah, he loves talking. Continuing on here, be coming up to the 110 freeway. Yeah, it looks like Pastor's laying down. And it looks like he's on a mobile device there. Any chance you can call CHP and tell them that the female passenger is laying down? They're talking about. I'm sure you can hear it. Neither one of the air units overhead can talk to CHP. So I don't know if you could relay that for them. Never mind, Duke found the frequency. All right, so as we continue on here northbound on the 101 approaching Glendale. All right. And 5's going to slow it up here and slide over to the north side of the freeway so I can stay away from the bowl when we get up here. And so here as we go, number 1 lane here, approaching Silver Lake. As we've been following here, he was at slow speeds. And it's a little bit of traffic ahead here he's going to have to weave his way through or work on. But right now it's still number 1 lane coming up through Rampart. Vermont, I just got it there. A little bit of downwash from 7 there. But anyway, continuing on here, northbound 101 and coming through Vermont. Get kind of a long eye right here as we swing out a little bit for the Hollywood Bowl, which is in progress. So we try to give those folks a little leeway as we go through there because we don't want to disturb their concert. So a lot of things you got to think about flying a news helicopter, not only Disneyland TFRs and airspaces, things of that sort. It's concerts as well. So do everything we can to make it friendly for the folks on the ground. But continuing north on the 101 here, working our way into East Hollywood. Coming up on Santa Monica. .63 miles per hour. Seven, I'm out your right door. All right. As we work our way north now through Santa Monica, coming to Melrose. Since that's ways ahead as we work our way up, then we'll start climbing the hill up into the Cahuenga Pass. And that takes us up over into the San Fernando Valley and back into the area where this thing all started. You said Pass in Alameda, right, Matt? Pass in Alameda is where it started? Ah, it was in the neighborhood. Riverside, Bob Hope, okay. 62 miles an hour through Sunset. Seven, I'm swinging right for you. They're going to get a little wider on the freeway here to give the Hollywood Bowl just a little bit of room here as we go through it. Once we get past the Hollywood Bowl, I'll swing back over and get on top of the pursuit. But and we're climbing the hill up into the Cahuenga Pass, heading up over the hill towards Barham. And we'll come down through Universal City. Still at 61 miles an hour going through the number 3 lane. .61 miles an hour coming up to Barham. All right, got you up there. Five's going to swing in behind 7, get back on the west side. Blank clear you 4? Okay, swinging behind you 7. Window. Looks like you might be getting off at Barham. Yes, off, confirmed off at Barham. Now, hopefully, he just doesn't get off at Barham and swing it across the top of the freeway here. And we're going, if he makes the right up Barham, it'll take him right back down into Burbank. And here he is coming up to the intersection here. Looks like he's in the right-hand turn pocket. See where he goes when he gets down the intersection, come up on the intersection and making that right turn on Barham back down towards Burbank. He's heading home is where he's going. He's where it all started down here. Bob Hope in Riverside. They're heading down the hill here. Through a red light at 60 miles an hour here coming south. 5's on the west side, 2000. Working his way down the hill here, continuing on. Going to bring him down to the metro area. 60 miles an hour through Forest Lawn on Barham. So now it's going to bring him down into the, I believe this is going to be Alameda down here is the next intersection he's coming to. Now on Olive here, westbound on Olive, or correction, eastbound Olive. Getting on the brakes here, making a left-hand turn. The Riverside, back onto Riverside. The Hollywood Way, actually he's on Hollywood Way going over the top of the 134. On Hollywood Way, this will take us right down towards Burbank Airport. Very slow. Five's going to bring it down about 1,500. Stand by. Listen to the scanner. U-turn here, another turning here. Slowing down in res track here. Going in a cul-de-sac right now. Actually, it's not a cul-de-sac. It's straight through. It takes it right back out to the main street here. Making a turn into this apartment complex. Going into an apartment complex in Swin. Five's coming around east. And I'm trying to get it look like it might be a valley stop in progress in a apartment complex here. What? Foot bail from the car and let the car roll into another one. He's out on foot running between the buildings there. Huh? Oh, this just came to an ending here in an alleyway just north of the 134, right around Olive and Alameda. He ran into these apartment buildings here. This has been going on for over 2 hours, a slow speed pursuit. I could see down between there, CHP officers chased him down and was grabbing him. I'm trying to get the Sky 5 around to where we look, but he's up underneath those large trees there. But he bailed out right here in Burbank, right about where it started. Started off at Bob Hope and Riverside Drive on just a regular traffic stop. And when the officers tried to stop him, he took off, went on the wrong way on the freeway, then ended up getting back on the South 101 freeway. Took us all the way out to El Monte, then back to the west, then down all the way into Orange County, past Fullerton, up to 57 through the San Gabriel Valley, then finally ending up here in Burbank. But as I bring Sky 5 around, see if they bring him out. But he went between those buildings right there. He got out of the car when they came to a stop and let the car go, and it just ran into that car in the alley. A brand new Porsche. You see that Burbank unit walking up between the houses there. That's where he went. But along with a female passenger, just like I said, it's been going on for well over 2 hours. We're kind of waiting here to see them bring them out back to the units, and right in between those buildings is where they ran. So more than likely ran to the house. So we're trying to listen to on the scanner to see what information we can get off that as far as what they are doing down in there, whether they got them in custody or not. Kind of looking in there and really can't tell I think it's one more side, one more row over here, Colton, to the left in there. So right now, we'll see what we get as I get lined up on the side here. But yeah, it was just a very not slow speed, just staying with freeway traffic. Times has sped up, but really it didn't do anything erratic. Just took them on about a 2-hour tour of the Southland, working our way around. So right now here we are looking down in, and can't really pick up anybody in there, but listening to the frequencies, we're not hearing a code 4 yet. If the suspect is in custody, you see the flashlights working in there. And right now, like I said, only wanted for reckless driving and speed, and of course the felony evading now. And depending on what happens at the end here, in between those apartment buildings, if there's any additional type of charges. 5 is to your north. Yeah, there was a lot of animation by the driver. He was giving a rude gesture to the officers most of the way. And then we watched him console the female passenger. She at one point had her face in her hands and was just rocking back and forth like she was distraught, just not really enjoying the ride. But it really didn't get going fast, but it did continue on for a long ways. We were on the 101 and it came almost to a stop because of traffic. And then, but he got through that and went through. But I have no idea what's going on here. I'm kind of in a position here. You can see the officers moving around in there. I don't see them with anybody in custody. He may have got inside of an apartment here in a residence of some sort. So trying to listen in, but not getting any information from the police right now. I'm going to squeeze up on you a little bit. Yeah, I have not heard them say anything about in custody or anything of that sort. I'm kind of watching here. Normally they'll bring them out this direction, but they're right between there. You see, okay, we just heard from the police, code 4, both suspects in custody. So you see where they've run down between the buildings here, and people here, they're going to be coming out here in a second. Yeah, here they come. That's normally they'll bring them on out, and suspect in custody. But yeah, Mike, as you were saying, that passenger, there's the driver right there. In custody, and the female didn't look like she was part of this plan at all, because like I said, it just started off with a normal traffic stop, and then the driver decided to take off, go the wrong way on the streets and freeway, and then get off and continue on down. And like I said, she appeared to be very distraught. But you can see the police walking the suspect out now. That's the driver coming out there, and the female I don't see. Let me swing around here if I can swing east. And so kind of keeping an eye on him as I bring Sky 5 around. So we looking down here, down the alleyway here. So yeah, it's strange. Didn't look like your normal pursuit suspect. Looked like two people just on a Sunday afternoon drive. You know, their hats on, top down, and but now going to go to jail tonight after this lengthy pursuit. Yep. What'd you say? Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, I see him. It's over here. Five's going to swing out to the south. Got everybody? Every stringer in the world's down there. And if we're still streaming, you can see being taken into custody by the department who started the pursuit, Burbank. And he'll be spending the night at Burbank jail tonight after this 2-hour pursuit. They got the female back there now, of course. I don't know what you're looking at. She. I think that's 7 over here on the west. I'm going to slide around behind you. I'm going to slide around behind you. What's that? Is that her? Hanging on to somebody. Unless that's somebody who's trying to help. There's the female. Yeah, not your normal pursuit suspects. Yeah, we can get it for you now. Hang on a second. Intersection right there. Cordova. Cordova. Got you. Man, I'm just fine. But everybody's weak turbulence. Come swinger. Yeah. All right, everybody in custody, everybody transported. There she goes. Alameda Cordova, I believe. Yeah. Hang on a second. Yeah, confirmed.